Hey everyone, Rarity Dash here. Time for another Patreon-sponsored reaction video. And this one comes to you courtesy of Storm Shadow, who has requested that I react to another fanfic reading. This time it's one from Emogak, who will be reading a fanfic called Twilight Hears the Narrator by Stratocaster. So yeah, Twilight Hears the Narrator, very amusing title there. Definitely sounds like this is going to be a very self-referential title. And yeah, a lot of meta humor I'm expecting. And yeah, just Twilight interacting with a narrator. That could be pretty entertaining, and should be pretty fun. Last time I did a fanfic reading, I enjoyed it. I thought it made for a better reaction than I was anticipating. It actually worked out pretty well. So thinking this should be the same or better, because I'm actually a bit more intrigued by this concept than I was the whole sunset eating meat one that we did before. But yeah, should be good, hopefully. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this started. Here we go. Commissioned by Nate Thibodeau.
I actually know how to say it this time.
Oh, how'd you say it before?
If you would like to commission
Nate
your own fanfic reading,
Thibodeau?
check the Google Doc link in the description below.
Kagame. Oh, okay, Kagame. Emogak is Kagame backwards. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
The humble pony folk were out and about tending to their daily business.
Was someone an Inuyasha fan?
Twilight Sparkle walked with a spring in her step back home to Friendship Castle. She had just received a new authentic book on conjuration spells and...
Hello?
She suddenly stopped and peered upward.
Is it happening already?
Hello?
Who are you?
She asked, looking quite confused. Well, I'm the narrator of this story.
Narrator? What are you talking about?
Twilight looked around.
Where are you?
Don't worry about it, okay? Just carry on with your day. Twilight paused with suspicion.
All right, then.
She then continued trotting. A few days ago, Twilight had received a task.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for her to ignore this, I think.
To uncover the spells used by the many wizards and alchemists of the medieval era. She was rather excited to get to work on...
Are you a ghost?
She stopped in her tracks again and looked up. Excuse me?
If I can hear you, but I can't see you, then you must be some kind of spirit,
Yeah,
right?
that's a possibility.
I'm not a ghost, all right? I told you. I'm the narrator.
The narrator of what?
This
Your life.
Story.
What story?
She grew impatient. The story involving your life?
Is this some kind of practical joke?
Twilight darted around, aggravated.
Is Rainbow up to this? If she's hiding in a cloud somewhere, I swear I will...
Look, there's no prank going on. I don't know how you can hear me all of a sudden, but just try to ignore me, got it?
It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
A strange voice coming from nowhere.
She rolled her eyes.
And how do you know everything I'm doing?
Because I'm the narrator.
Not creepy at
That
all.
still doesn't explain anything.
She shouted in outrage.
Quit it! Yikes, Twilight.
Oh.
Who are you talking to?
Speaking of Rainbow Dash?
Swooping down from above,
Rainbow.
said Twilight.
You can hear him, can't you? Hear who?
Oh,
Replied.
The narrator.
it's just Twilight.
Everything you do and says things after you're done speaking. Like she said.
She said. Rainbow stared
Wow.
at Twilight as if she had grown another head.
Is this some kind of inside joke I don't know about?
She asked.
I get pretty steamed when I'm not let in on a joke. Oh, come on, Rainbow.
Urged Twilight.
If I can clearly hear him, then you must too. Are you feeling all right, Twi?
Queried Rainbow.
You're talking
Queried.
pretty crazy.
I think we're kind of stretching it
Not
there.
crazy.
Replied Twilight.
He's there. I'm telling you. Look, Twilight.
Rainbow backed up, a bit unnerved.
I think you've just been reading those spells too much. Maybe you should relax for a while, huh? But I got something to do.
She lied.
So, feel better. See ya.
Rainbow then flew off in a hurry. Twilight looked back up at the sky with a glare.
Do you see what you did?
She scolded.
You just made me seem like a lunatic in front of my friend.
Don't blame me. You're the one barking at the wind.
Whatever. I'm going home.
Twilight stormed off.
Maybe I am working too hard.
A tad disgruntled, Twilight finally returned to her castle with her tome in her saddlebag. She entered the newly furbished living room, dropped her bag, and plopped onto the couch, rubbing her eyes as if she were annoyed by a constant droning noise.
Well,
After a while, she had grown quite accustomed to her new crystal home. She had been busy with filling it with a large collection of books and...
Will you give it a rest already?
She shouted at the air.
That's what he does.
So much about my life.
Twilight? Who
Oh.
are you yelling at? Spike appeared,
Oh, wow.
having been awoken from an afternoon nap.
Spike, am I crazy?
Asked Twilight. Well, yes, but it
Ah.
could be worse. Spike
Not really the best Spike
Why do
voice
you
there.
ask? Twilight let the comment slide and explained.
Just earlier, I've started to hear this annoying voice narrating everything I do, and he keeps following me, it seems. I don't suppose you've heard anything like that.
A voice? Not really. Is he saying anything now? He asked.
There, right now!
She pointed.
He just said he asked right after you spoke.
Well, that's weird. The dragon scratched his head.
It is
I
weird.
wonder why he can see me, but I can't see or hear him,
Right?
replied Twilight.
So you actually believe me?
I've seen some pretty crazy stuff with you and the girls.
That's true.
Not much surprises me anymore,
Well, I think I might have an idea of what's going on.
Twilight said.
Do you?
I started hearing the narrator just after I received this conjuring book from Princess Celestia. If I didn't know any
Probably
better,
related?
I'd say this book comes with a curse.
Oh.
Curse? Bugged Spike.
Yes,
She nodded.
it's possible that I've been joined by a spirit who dwells within this book.
You mean a ghost? Spike suddenly panicked. No way! I ain't dealing with a ghost. Way too scary.
Spike, I'm
Oh,
pretty
Spike.
sure you've dealt with ghosts at least twice before.
Twilight discerned. Spirits be gone! Spike then proceeded to light an incense candle and wave it above his head. Be gone from this castle! This is my soul! You can't have it! I'm not gonna let you haunt me! He dashed out of the living room in a frenzy.
Spike,
Just
wait!
can't get over how that sounds nothing like Spike.
And what makes you think that I came from your book? Twilight looked up.
Well, what other explanation is there? I bet you're really the spirit of the last owner of the book. I bet that you cast a spell that preserved your soul within the papers.
You keep telling yourself that. Not like any pony else will believe you.
We'll just see about that.
She then pondered for a moment.
Maybe Rainbow and Spike couldn't hear you because they don't know magic. I should just talk to a unicorn.
Yeah, go talk to Rarity.
This isn't part of the story planned.
I don't know what that means, but I don't care.
Twilight insisted and trotted off.
I'm going to
Well,
see what
it's
my
the
friend
story
Rarity
now.
has to say about you, whoever you are.
Fine, you do that. As she left the castle,
Let's get some
Spike
Rarity.
poked his head back into the room. Wait, did you say Rarity? He called
Wow.
to the pony. Tell her I love her. No, wait, don't tell her that. Tell her I'm thinking of her. You know, like it's no big deal. Twilight made her way over to Carousel Boutique in an urgent pace. Upon arrival, she knocked at the door with her large, meaty hooves.
Oh.
What did you just say?
Yeah, that's a bit of an interesting
Oh,
detail.
sorry. Too much fun at your expense.
You know darn well my hooves aren't meaty.
Aw.
Twilight, were you speaking just now?
Came Rarity's voice as she opened the door.
Oh, Rarity!
Said Twilight.
There's something I need to ask you about. Have you been hearing any strange voices lately? Whatever do you mean?
Asked Rarity.
You know, some unseen pony narrating every move you make, every word you say?
Yeah.
She urged.
Good heavens, Twilight!
Gasped Rarity, looking around past her friend.
Is this some pony stalking you? Show
Oh.
yourself, you scoundrel!
Aw.
I will not let you hound my friend!
Nice. Rarity's so
Well, that's
protective of her
not
friends.
entirely false.
Twilight scratched her mane.
But I don't think there's any pony physically following me. Well then, what's going on, dear? My
It's
theory
weird.
is that there's some kind of magic spirit that can see everything we do.
Twilight explained.
And only unicorns can pick up his voice. I was hoping that you'd be able to hear him too. I'm sorry, Twilight, but I've never heard anything of the sort.
Rarity then looked a bit embarrassed.
Oh, perhaps I'm just not that good at magic as you
Aw.
are to understand.
Twilight pondered.
Maybe you just need to hone in on my magic aura. Do you mind if I come in? Not at all.
Rarity allowed her friend inside and had her sit on the couch in the lounge.
Why don't I get you some tea?
She offered.
This seems awfully perplexing. You have no idea.
Twilight said. As soon as her designer friend leapt into the kitchen, Twilight took time to gather focus for her magic energy as she looked around at the gaudy decor of the boutique.
Gaudy?
Hey, Rarity's home isn't gaudy.
Yeah, what the hell, narrator?
You really shouldn't insult ponies who can't hear you.
And
Carousel
just
Boutique
how
is
do you
awesome.
plan to stop me?
As soon as I
It
figure
looks
out
great.
who you are.
She glowered. Rarity quickly returned with a tea tray.
How exactly did you come by?
I think it's
this,
glowered.
Twilight? I think he manifested himself from a spellbook I was given.
She explained.
Yeah, why don't you
For
just
some
go talk to
reason, He
Celestia?
just seems to keep following me without the book. What do you suggest we do?
Rarity sat next to her on the couch.
I know a spell that can allow us to share a magic aura.
Oh.
Twilight looked at her.
Normally, this would be used to engage.
Wasn't
in
this
great
dude gonna
spells,
make
but
Rarity hear it too?
I think it can help reveal the spirit
Just-
to you. I'll do whatever it takes to help, Twilight.
Rarity smiled sweetly.
All right.
She breathed.
If you're ready, close your eyes.
The room grew silent as both Twilight and Rarity faced each other and shut their eyes. Slowly and carefully, Twilight harnessed the power of her magic aura and concentrated it until it began to envelope her and her friend. The bright purple cloud of magic energy held for several moments as Rarity focused as hard as she could. Then the aura slowly dissipated, and the two mares opened their eyes.
Well,
Asked Twilight.
do you hear him? I can't tell. Here, I'll help.
Twilight got up.
You should hear him now.
With a sort of giddiness, Twilight sprang from the couch to the middle of the floor and began dancing erratically. She began with a strange jumping shuffle, then moved into an awkward form of the Charleston and the Jitterbug. Then she moved more into disco, proceeding with the hustle, the robot, and the roller skate dance without roller skates.
Kind of like to see this.
With a clumsy slide on her knees and stopped, panting.
I kind of doubt Twilight could actually do all these
You heard his
dances.
voice, right? Telling everything I did.
She breathed heavily.
You understand now, right?
Rarity stared at her for a moment, a bit shocked.
Twilight, I do understand perfectly well now. Really?
Beamed Twilight.
I understand you are awfully sick and it's affected your brain.
Wow.
What?
Rarity suddenly sprang up and wrapped her hooves around her confused friend like a concerned mother.
Oh, you poor thing! All this work with magic spellbooks has been playing on your sweet head.
Yeah, go to
Need rest and
Celestia.
relaxation.
Or Pinkie Pie.
Rarity,
That might help
I
too.
don't think you.
Twilight couldn't get a word in, as she was immediately dragged off at an alarming speed. Within seconds, Rarity carried her with a surprising strength all the way to
Nice.
the Ponyville Spa.
Oh.
She approached the twin
Well, that might help.
urgently.
Hello, Lotus! My friend is terribly ill and she needs the full treatment. Rarity, I'm not sick in the head.
Protested Twilight, being lifted up.
I really
Even
do
if you
hear
were, I'm
a
not sure a
voice.
spa treatment
sure you
would
do, darling.
do much.
Rarity sympathized.
But don't you fret. You'll be rid of the bad voice in no time.
Without hesitation, Aloe and Lotus hauled the confused Alicorn off to a separate room and dropped her in a mud bath. They then applied a slimy mud mask to her face and a pair of cucumber slices to her eyes.
I really don't think this is necessary.
Groaned Twilight.
Never you worry, Twilight.
Said Rarity from the door.
Just let the relaxation melt away your troubles.
She turned to the Spa Twins before leaving her alone.
Poor girl. She thinks she's being followed by a ghost.
An awkward silence fell as Twilight lay in the therapeutic mud, unsure of whether to get out or not. Her confused little mind couldn't wrap itself around the situation she found herself in.
Stop pretending like I can't hear you.
Scorned as she removed her cucumbers.
Why can't you just go away? You've just been causing trouble so far.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that at the moment.
Mhm.
Evidently, I'm not a ghost. I've never seen that spellbook in my life,
So then what are you?
she persisted. How many times do I have to make this clear? I'm the narrator.
Ugh!
Twilight slumped back in the bath, aggravated. Then she considered something.
Maybe you really are just in my head. Maybe you're just a figment of my imagination.
Maybe. Although I assure you, I am quite real.
Real or not, I'm not having an invisible pony narrating me all my life.
Twilight grumbled. Who says I'm a pony?
Oh.
I could be a griffin, or a dragon, or a minotaur, or a cow, or some kind of species that you can't even imagine. There are more possibilities than I can count on my hooves.
Oh, well, you have
You
hooves.
are a pony.
Shut up! That's
Oh.
when a conniving smile crossed Twilight's face.
Say, you're a male, aren't you?
Duh. Do I sound like a filly to you?
Would you say that you would be kind enough to give a lady her privacy?
She asked knowingly. What are you talking about? Twilight then got up out of the mud and stood.
If you don't mind.
She said with a smug smile.
I have to use the little filly's room and
Oh.
flash off this mask. You don't mind waiting out here, do you?
Damn it!
I'll be just a minute.
She lied as she entered the mayor's bathroom by the baths. Oh, great. Alright, here we go. Trying to keep the magic alive.
Stupid narrator, thinking he's so clever, following me like some kind of parasite.
Twilight grumbled as she stood at the sink to splash water on her
Oh.
face.
What the... Ah! Are you kidding me?
Oh.
Princess, you can't keep me from doing my job. I'll follow you to the ends of Equestria if I have to. So why don't you just try to deal with it for Celestia's sake?
Wait a minute.
Twilight gained an idea.
Princess Celestia!
Yeah.
If any pony can help dispel this whole thing, it's her. She's the one who gave me the Conjuring book in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going with this?
To Canterlot, that's where.
She smiled determinedly and prepared to leave the spa.
Some pony as powerful as Princess Celestia must be powerful enough to believe you're real.
And if she doesn't, well, here's mud in your eye.
You know, you may be a narrator, but you should probably leave the puns alone.
Fair enough. After drying the mud off, which did barely anything to help her relax, Twilight flapped her wings and set off for Canterlot Castle.
Oh.
Feeling as though it would
No
help
wings
her
in the picture,
situation,
though.
she brought along the spellbook in her bag, protecting its rough leather binding and yellowed parchment pages. She
Though it is a
finally
good
arrived at
picture for the
pristine
fic,
castle
gotta admit.
after nearly clumsily flying into a
Less than
zeppelin
zero.
along the way.
Hey, cut it out!
She scolded. Well, it's true. Twilight entered the castle and walked through its hollowed corridors until finding the graceful Sun Princess relaxing in the lounge,
Graceful.
reading with a cup of tea.
Nice.
Why, hello, Twilight.
Greeted Celestia, putting down her copy of the Cloudsdale Underground.
I assume you enjoyed that Conjuring book I sent you.
Actually, Princess Celestia,
Said Twilight, scratching her head.
that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. Do you happen to know who owned the book last?
Celestia pondered for a moment.
I believe it was written by Starswirl the Bearded
Okay.
many centuries ago.
Cool.
She said.
But I think he left it unfinished and it became long forgotten. Why do you ask?
Well, promise you won't think I'm lying or crazy.
She asked hesitantly.
After everything you've put up with in the past?
Smiled Celestia.
I completely trust you, my young
Aww.
friend.
Okay, well, ever since I received the book from you, I've been hearing this strange voice commenting everything I do or say.
Twilight explained.
He calls himself the narrator, and apparently he's able to respond whenever I acknowledge him. I tried explaining this to a couple of my friends, but they don't believe me. It could just be my imagination, but I swear this has something to do with the book.
Celestia paused to think about the problem.
You know, I've read about cases like this before.
Have you now?
Gawked Twilight, elated that the princess actually believed her.
It's certainly nothing common.
Explained Celestia.
Yeah, I
But
wouldn't think
there
so.
have been a few instances of unicorns delving into occult spells who, as a result, were possessed or followed by a presence of a spirit. You must have accidentally resurrected one.
Oh.
That's the thing.
Replied Twilight.
I only looked through a few pages of the book, but never used any of the spells inside, so I think the spirit must have some kind of connection with the book.
Curious.
Celestia said.
Well, I can tell you're certainly not lying, Twilight, because I too feel an obscure presence around your aura.
Say what?
You can
Oh.
sense him?
Beamed Twilight.
Interesting.
But yes,
Celestia nodded. She then walked over to a fireplace mantel and levitated a small trinket. It was a small glass container decorated with brass supports.
fortunately, I might know of a spell that can extract the spirit from your presence, Twilight. I
Cool.
can make this narrator's soul become visible by placing him in this vial.
Whoa, wait a minute. This isn't supposed to happen,
You really think it'll work, Princess?
asked Twilight.
Have faith, my young pupil.
Grinned Celestia.
I've dealt with mysterious spirits before. Now, let me just charge my magic.
Oh, no, you don't. Concentrating her yellow aura, Celestia cast it upon Twilight in the process of her spell. For several moments, the aura enveloped the young alicorn, and her silhouette seemed to change form. Finally, the aura disappeared and left Twilight just the same, except for a pair of white feathered wings, sharp talons, and a beak,
Oh.
said Chicken Twilight.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Gasped Celestia.
That's not supposed to happen.
Again, Celestia recharged her magic and tried the spell again to both change her student back to normal and rid her of the so-called spirit. But instead, all the spell did was replace the chicken feathers with slimy green skin,
Oh.
long springy legs, and a wide gaping mouth,
Well,
Ribbit.
said Frog Twilight.
That's not right either.
yeah.
Celestia tried once more to cast the spell. This time, Twilight was transformed entirely into a purple bison.
What's
Oh.
happening?
She panicked.
Something is wrong, Twilight.
Celestia told her.
There is some kind of force interfering with my magic. I'll have to give it more strength.
She charged up with her magic again, but the spell almost
And
shook
as
Twilight
usual,
to the
Celestia is
size of a
useless.
doll.
Just like in the show.
Please stop!
Hold on. The spirit is more powerful than I thought.
Celestia began to sweat as she tried the spell again. This time, Twilight was changed completely into Applejack.
How
Oh.
in tarnation did I
Oh, okay.
Another attempt, and Applejack was quickly replaced by Trixie.
The great and powerful Trixie demands an expletive.
Then the presence was taken over by Big Macintosh.
Oh. Nope.
After many more attempts, Twilight was eventually left with 7 extra wings, 3 extra horns, a tail 10 meters long, and mismatched colored eyes.
It's
Oh.
not working!
She cried as she bolted out of the castle,
Twilight, wait!
called Celestia. As she ran out of the castle, the extra appendages disappeared off of Twilight.
Well,
and
good.
She stopped to gather her breath. Oh man, you should have seen the look on her face.
This jerk.
Wait, that was you?
She glared.
How dare you interfere with the princess's magic!
Please, I'm not gonna let any pony stuff me into a bottle. Not even your ruler can get rid of me,
Oh yeah? Well, I got a little backup plan.
she said, determined. Twilight then produced another book from her bag.
Let's see how well you narrate me when I'm the one doing the narrating.
Oh.
Oh, this ought to be good. You have no idea what I'm capable of, sweetheart.
We'll see.
Twilight opened up a page in her novel and read aloud.
Daring Do emerged from the downed airplane miraculously unharmed, but her troubles weren't over yet, as she immediately found herself surrounded by the natives of War Horse Island, readying their spears and darts. But Daring knew full well that they were after the sacred stone of fire, and she quickly grabbed it from beneath the rubble. After staring down at her foes, Daring leaped into the nearby river as the natives hurled their weapons in her direction.
Suddenly, Twilight put down her book and began to don a French maid's outfit.
Oh.
Where did this come from?
Okay.
I can't control my body.
What?
Twilight, it suits you.
Yeah,
Make it stop!
She
I approve.
screamed and quickly removed the costume. She gave a heavy, disdained sigh.
There really is no beating you, is there?
She groaned. Not by a long shot. Ever more disgruntled, Twilight sat with her head hung low on a table at Sugar Cube Corner.
Okay,
Usually,
and now
a vanilla
Pinkie.
hay shake with cookie crumbles was enough to cheer her up after a hectic day. But somehow, it wasn't doing the trick this time.
Gee, I wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
She sulked,
Hey, Twilight!
said Pinkie from behind the counter.
Yeah, Pinkie should know all about
I'm
this.
not even gonna bother explaining.
Twilight groaned.
Oh, wait! You mean the narrator ghost in your head?
The pink pony jumped.
Yeah. Call me crazy and get it all out of your system.
She replied.
Oh, don't worry, Twi. I don't think you're crazy.
Pinkie joined her.
In fact, I hear him too.
Twilight
Of course you do.
You do? Seriously? Yeah, he narrates everything I say and do as well.
Pinkie said.
Pinkie, that's such a relief.
Twilight.
And I thought I was the only one. It must be your Pinkie senses or something. Twilight, please. He's trying to say something to me.
Urged Pinkie.
Oh, sorry?
A pause was left as Pinkie looked up and nodded in, listening.
Yeah? Uh-huh. Oh, really? Oh, he did not.
Oh. I guess Pinkie has
That is
another
so
narrator.
True. They all really do look like that. Pinkie? He's not saying anything to you.
Twilight discerned.
Shh! Twilight!
Glared Pinkie.
I really wish you wouldn't interrupt. It's hard enough to understand him with his French accent. French accent?
She replied.
He doesn't have a... Quiet!
Pinkie then talked to the air.
I'm sorry, Jack. Sometimes he's so rude.
It was then that Twilight realized that the goofy pink mare was not on the same level as her. With a heavy sigh, Twilight placed money on the table and left the baker in her own little world.
You know, I'm glad you finally settled down, Jack.
Said Pinkie.
You seem much happier now with your husband.
Twilight muttered to herself as she stepped outside. Qu'est-ce que c'est, Mademoiselle Sparkle?
Oh, stop it! I know she can't hear you.
She stomped her big mannish hoof in a hissing.
Oh, God.
All right, that's it. Shut up! I don't care who you are or why you're in my head, but just go away! I don't want to hear your stupid, annoying voice anymore. All you've done is cause me trouble and embarrassment. You're just a nuisance. Please just do me one kind favor and get out! I don't want you. I don't need you. No pony needs you!
Well, okay then. If that's how you really feel.
Wait a minute. That was too much. I didn't want to sound
No,
mean.
it was-
I just...
No.
It's
I hear
kind of
what you're
warranted.
saying. I've overstayed my welcome, and you deserve your space. I'll just go.
Narrator, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Narrator? Are you there? Hello? Oh, dear. Twilight, are you alright?
And Fluttershy.
Fluttershy. It's kind of a long story. Is it about your narrator? So you've heard about it too, huh? You probably think I'm nuts as well. Not at all, Twilight. I
Aw.
may not understand it all too well, but I can try my best to. What's wrong? You look awfully distraught. Is the narrator saying something now? Well, that's just it. I lost my temper, yelled at him, and he just disappeared. I think I may have offended him. But I thought you didn't like him very much. He was annoying and pesky, yes, but now that I think about it, he was just another soul. I thought he was just some supernatural prank or curse, but I now realize he actually has feelings. I should be glad that he's gone, but somehow I'm not. Oh, Twilight, it's never too late to apologize. Maybe he's just giving you the silent treatment. Even so, what would I say? That I'm actually okay with him commenting on my every
Are
action?
you?
Just talk to him like a real pony. If he's able to feel hurt, I'm sure he's able to forgive. Just tell him what you really feel. I'm sure he's intelligent enough to understand. Well, maybe you're right, Fluttershy. I'll try talking to him again. Narrator? Are you there? Look, I want to hear your voice again. If you're there, can you speak to me?
What is it?
Are you eating something?
Wow.
Give me a sandwich. What do you want?
Look, narrator, I can't say I'm not annoyed by what you do, but then again, I can't even begin to understand why you're here or how. Maybe it's not easy being the narrator of some pony's life. I think perhaps if I let you stay in my head, I can get to understand you better. Who knows? We might even become friends.
I thought I was just a nuisance.
I'm sorry. That was wrong of me to say. It's just that whenever I come across an issue that I can't understand or get a hold of, I start to overreact. I can't handle not knowing the source of a problem, and it drives me crazy. But that doesn't have to be a problem. If you understand me in my life, maybe I can get to know you in your life. It may take some getting used to, but I don't think I'll mind having you around for as long as you need. So, what do you say? Hello? Narrator? Come on, don't leave me hanging.
She called out, in her sweet, pristine voice.
Aww.
Twilight stretched a smile across her pretty young face.
Oh, wow. Now we're kind of...
What's with the compliments
Yeah.
all of a sudden?
She blushed. Well, I figure if I want to be a narrator, I have to be a gentle cult about it. To be honest, I'm sorry for teasing and toying with you. Sometimes this job gets stressful,
I can't imagine.
Twilight said.
But hopefully I can get to understand. If you'd like to stick around for a while.
She fluttered her purple eyes in a knowing manner. You know something? I could have been destined to narrate any pony's life. Any ordinary Joe in Equestria. But you, Twilight? I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't think there's any pony out there who's experienced as many interesting stories as you have. It's like your whole life is worthy of retelling. So really, there's no pony else I would rather narrate than you. Twilight looked away and blushed.
That's actually pretty sweet. But I'm really not that special.
I beg to differ, Princess. What do we have on tap for tomorrow?
Why are you asking me?
She winked.
You should know all about it.
Ah, yes, good point. Twilight had been preparing for a big excursion tomorrow with Princess Luna to find an ancient relic of the Crystal Empire.
Okay, that sounds
With
pretty
a
cool.
spring in her step, she trotted off with her non-mannish hooves back home to get some shut-eye. Tomorrow would hold more twists and turns for her life. It seemed that every day for this humble yet extraordinary mare was just another great story. The end.
Wait, what?
Okay. Yeah. Credits. And there we go. Well, yeah, that was fun. that was pretty good. Interesting little story. The ending was weird. I wasn't expecting her to accept the narrator and just be okay with it. I mean, obviously, Pinkie's done that with her narrator, but Twilight, I just wasn't really what I was expecting the resolution to be. But I mean, it's a fun concept, and I think they did it pretty well. About what you would expect. Yeah, I mean, the direction that it went is really the direction that it had to go. Just talk to Celestia. I mean, that was the next logical move. And then Pinkie Pie, because she has her own fourth wall breaking stuff going on. So, yeah. But it was pretty good. It was entertaining and kept me fairly amused. I don't know about my reaction. I think it was okay. It is kind of a weird thing, a fanfic. Because there is like nothing, just a single image to look at the whole time. But yeah, I mean, the story, it had breaks for me to like react in certain ways, and I think having the face cam helps obviously too for this kind of thing. But yeah, good stuff, good little story, and I mean, the reading was good too. I mean, there were a few little awkward pauses in there that I noticed, but other than that, pretty well put together. The voices, other than Spike, who was obviously just the narrator doing a slightly different voice that sounded nothing like Spike, they were pretty good, pretty solid, and yeah, just overall, pretty good. Anyway, hope you liked the reaction. Let me know if you did, and see you in the next one.